Hey everyone, how's it going? I've just finished auditioning different drums for an album I've got to record and setting up the kit. So I thought I would give you a little tour of what I'm using and why. Just while we wait for other videos that I'm making and taking forever doing. So this is the drum kit for the new Scandelion album. And they are a symphonic metal band from the Canary Islands. So the kit obviously has to suit that musically. So firstly, we've got the Porter & Davis Gigster, which is a tactile monitor. You feel the bass drum up through your spine and into your inner ear. It sounds amazing, feels amazing. And monitoring through the JH16 Pros, really amazing in-ears. Drum-wise, all my drums are obviously Sonar. And the main snare I think I'm going to use is this 14x5 steel ProLite snare with the Hella hoops, which is kind of Sonar's die-cast hoops on steroids. Really focuses the drum without choking it. Sounds great. The toms and the bass drum are my S Classics, which are thin birch shells. I normally mix and match different bass drums and toms, depending on what I'm recording. But for this, after I tried out a bunch of different ones, the matching kit actually seems to really fit. So that's 10, 12, 14, 16, and a 20. Normally, for metal, I would use the 24, but I don't want to use samples, and I'm not using triggers, and the 20-inch kind of really focuses the sound for the really fast stuff. And being a Sonar drum with Remo heads, it's still got tons of beef and low end, and I've tuned it really low. Talking of Remo, we've got the coated P77 on the snare, which is a really great head. It's got tons of crack, it's really fat, it's beefy without being dead. So even though it's nice and dry, there's no loss of sensitivity going through to the snares underneath. And the underneath head is a Diplomat, which I prefer over an Ambassador generally because I find it a little bit drier but also very sensitive. Toms, we've got pinstripes over Ambassadors. Gives me a nice quick punchy tone with lots of fatness. No dampening on those three drums. And then the floor toms is Emperors over Emperors. So the reason I've done that is it adds a little bit more beef. Gives me a slightly lower tone, like a lower fundamental. And I've got a little bit of dampening on there because they're tuned quite low to get a ton of sustain, but real kind of low-end oomph. So that with Scandelion, some of their music is kind of doom metal, and I want to be able to play on those and let the sustain really ring out and fill some space. And then I've got pinstripes on the higher toms for the really fast runs in the more death metal stuff, where I need it to punch through and then get out of the way. On the bass drum, we've got a clear P3. I use the P3 Black Dot quite a bit, but the clear P3s are amazing. You just can't go wrong with them in anything. And I've got a white P3 on the front. Cymbal-wise, what have we got? Obviously everything is Stag. We've got the 14-inch DH EXO prototype hi-hats. I love these as main hats when I want something bright and cutting. They're really nice sizzly. Sorry if I'm talking fast, I want to get through it so it's not too long. It's a 10-inch stack with a DH China on top of a sensor splash. This is the 17-inch DH Rock Crash, really nice and bright. This thing is amazing. This is the 10-inch sensor Ocean Splash, which you can see is super thin. Really fast percussive sounding splash. This is the first ride I ever reach for when I'm recording metal, and this is the DH 20-inch EXO Extra Dry ride. It's super pingy, super dry, loads of stick definition, and the bell is just beastly. It's also my first Stag cymbal, which is why I've knocked off the logo from playing it so much. This is the 18-inch Myra Rock Crash. It's a monster, it's super beefy, but still cuts through really well. 13-inch sensor hi-hats. Really sweet sounding, and they tend to cut through the mix nicely. 17-inch DH China. I'm probably going to swap that with a 20-inch traditional China for some songs, but for the faster stuff that's nice because it's quite a quick sounding China. And this is new for me. I've never really used big stacks much, But this is more of the Sensor Ocean series, which are those super thin, bendy effects cymbals. And this is a 16 stacked on top of an 18, and they sound amazing. It's a really cool stack. Really, really enjoying that. I've got to stop myself just overusing it. I'm not going to talk through the mics and stuff on this video because I'm not 100% set on them. I think I'm probably going to stick with this setup, but I'm not sure yet. So, oh yeah, and obviously a whole different bunch of different Los Cabos drumsticks. They take a serious beating. Pretty much every snare hit I play is a rim shot. And as anyone who's heard me play knows, I hit pretty hard, so they stand up really well and they feel great. Anyway, let's have a listen to how it sounds, and I will see you later.